we have to have a teacher mentality. And I want to spend just a few minutes on this because knowing, or at least having an idea of what you're going to share with your community is the first step before we share it, right? We have to know what it is we're sharing. And you have a worksheet on this in your handout as well. So let's just talk about defining your expertise. Now, there's a lot of, some of you are very good at this already, right? You know who you are. I got tons of things to say. But if you take any group of 100 people, at least half of them, statistically, are people who think, I don't really know what to say. What am I going to write? I got to write a blog post? What am I going to say to these people? You know, and it takes 3 hours to write a blog. Well, let's try and get past that. So everyone's here for a different reason. Everyone here has a different business. So you know your business, I don't know your business. In your business, what are the biggest mistakes your customers are making? Now, not your competitors, your customers. There's a major difference here. Think about your customers. So if you're a marketing consultant, you're not asking yourself what are the biggest mistakes other marketing consultants are making. You don't want that unless you want to sell to your competitors. You want to look at your customers, right? The people who are employees at companies or self-employed entrepreneurs or whatever. What are the biggest mistakes they are making with respect to marketing, if that's the example that we're using? Okay, and they don't always know. You live in this space, they don't. Right? You're in this every day. Every day you do this stuff and you research it because you're interested in it. You're probably passionate about it. Right? And you know all these things and you see all these things. So you see the mistakes. They don't see it themselves. That's your value. Right? That's your expertise. That's the stuff that you can say that will benefit them. Right? So maybe jot down some notes or think about it so that it kind of gets your mind thinking about, you know, even if it's just one thing, one example right now, you can do more later. But write down a couple of words so you can remember it later. What are the biggest mistakes they're making? Okay, and then secondly, the tips, tricks, and tools. Again, this is your domain. This is where you spend your time. This is your life. So you know this space, and you know these tools that exist, just like I know a bunch of tools, and some of you know those tools too, but I'll bet you I know a couple that maybe you don't. Because I live this. I mean, I'm a geek, right? That's what I do. And you're all geeks too in your own field. So you know your industry really well. So what are those tools? What are those tools that your customers can benefit from that you know about that they don't? That's your value. That's your expertise. How can your customers spend less on you? Right? That's always a controversial one. Think about how much time and energy Google puts into educating their customers how to spend less per click. Anyone here who's done pay-per-click advertising on Google knows that they have incredible tools to help you pay less per click. They help you spend less on Google. And what ends up happening? The per-click cost goes down and the total spend goes up because they trust you. Right? Because they trust that you have their best interests at heart. So how can your customers spend less on you? Right? People will be happy to hear that. You tell someone, listen, you could spend $2,000 on this, but if you just do this, this, and this, you could probably get it done for $800. I mean, who's not going to appreciate that? Who's not going to trust you more? You know, I'm shooting myself in the foot. I could have made $2,000, but honestly, you're wasting your money. Do it this way. It's $800. Whatever. Right? Just think along those lines. And lastly, what's the cultural revolution that's taking place in your industry? Right? I just told you about the cultural revolution I see in mine. Right? They look at the content first and the source second. To me, that's a cultural revolution. That's an insight that I see because I live in this space, and I get excited about it. And so I can tell people about it, and sometimes they get excited about it too. So what do you see in your industry? In whatever it is. How are things changing? Your customers don't know, but you do. And there's another big difference. The days of, you know, some of them don't, right? Some of them don't care. And that's okay too. Because old world, 100 people, you try and do something that will appeal to the largest percentage of that 100 as possible. Right? That's what they used to do. So you think of something clever and short, right? You don't want to interrupt them for too long, something to make them laugh, right? In the new world, 100 people, 94 of them couldn't care less what you do, but 6 of them really care. really care. And you could write a book and they would read the whole thing. Right? So which is more powerful? Having 98 people that you caught their attention for a few seconds and they recognize your logo, or 6 people who are raving fans of what you do?